Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. In today's matchup, we should have a fun one on our hands. It's the Buccaneers coming in at 4-9, going up against the Falcons, who come in at 8-5.
Thank you, Larry. With the distinctive pirate ship in the north end zone, we can only be in one place, and that's Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Just a short time ago, the Buccaneers emerging from their tunnel to the roar of this frenzied crowd here in the Sunshine State. And we're in the big ship, and fittingly, everyone here ready to do battle as Tampa Bay gets ready to match up with Matt Ryan and the defending NFC champions, the Atlanta Falcons. It's the final 3 weeks of the season, still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Jameis Winston ready to lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on offense. Unfortunately, though, for the Bucs and their fans, they've lost 8 of their last 10. Now, Jameis Winston last week against Detroit, 285 and 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions and also a fumble.
And that's been the issue for Jameis throughout his career because he wows you with his talent. You see some of the plays that he makes. But then these things pop up, the interceptions, the lost fumbles, trying too hard to make plays that aren't there. And all it does is put his team behind the 8 ball so often when he does that.
And his first pass is incomplete. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
And on 2nd and 10 now. Now the first carry for Doug Martin. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
A gain of 19 and picking up the first. And that's the first connection, the number 1 overall pick in 2015, finding the number 7 pick in 2014 in Evans.
And what a great target Mike Evans is for Jameis Winston. Winston's a pretty accurate thrower, but that catch radius that Evans provides, that makes him that much more dangerous.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Over the middle to Evans. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. He got 29 yards that time.
And that was a heck of a shot right there by Jameis Winston. Boy, he has a superior right arm, doesn't he? You saw him play baseball.
Yeah, he's actually a switch hitter in baseball. Outfielder, and then, of course, a very hard-throwing pitcher. That's translated well in the National Football League.
That it has. When he has to make that throw on a line, he's got plenty of arm to do it.
So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. 1st down. Here's the run with Martin. Had a nice broken tackle and then brought down right around the 20. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker. So it'll be 1st down here after the run.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, that run right there was an offensive line coach's dream, wasn't it? Guys picked up all of their assignments, created a nice gap for the running back to get through, pick up 7 yards. Yeah, he's probably chortling on the headset right now saying, we got it going, boys. Let's keep it going.
On second down, Martin. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
And the offense in a great spot. It's 1st and goal from the 3. They go play action here on first down. And Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. Mike Evans, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. You'd have to imagine for a team that's lost 3 straight games, scoring first in this first quarter has to feel pretty good.
It has to feel great for them, and also it's a nice signal to the rest of the team, because we talk about complementary football all the time. So they've now signaled to the defense, now signaled to the kicking game, hey, we're here to play in this one. We're going to do our part. Let's see if you guys will do the exact same, and we can break this losing streak.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Matt Ryan didn't have his New Orleans Saints 3 interceptions, but they overcame that and got a victory.
And one that they sorely needed. That was at home, coming off of a home loss to Minnesota the week before. Division rival game against New Orleans. Yeah, Matty Ice threw 3 interceptions. They didn't have their A game, but found a way to win, and that's what matters. Staying pace, keeping pace in the division. Right now, if the playoffs started, Atlanta's in as the number 6 seed out of the NFC.
And the NFC South would have 3 teams in. How about that? No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. All right, let's look at the offense. Devontae Freeman, this is a guy that you wanted to talk about, so take it away.
Brandon, have you seen a running back play with such joy as well as such fury? I love the way he runs the football and attacks defenses.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. And his throw here's incomplete. Austin Hooper, the tight end, was the intended target. And it's 3rd down. And a quick look at the Buccaneer defensive starters.
After Quan Alexander was drafted by Tampa Bay, I asked someone in the organization, where are you going to play him? Outside linebacker? And they said, no, we're actually going to play him in the middle. And that surprised me because of his size. But as they told me, this is a speed game in the NFL now, and there won't be any faster middle linebackers than Quan Alexander, who uses his speed to evade blocks, slip blocks, and run down ball carriers.
On 3rd down, Ryan. It's caught. Jones. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Ryan now off the bootleg. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Levante David in from his linebacker spot. He's able to drop it for a loss of about 10. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Off the bootleg. Ryan. Hits his target. It's Taylor Gabriel. And a big collision there as he winds up flat on his back. A good pickup there, a 22.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early. That's going to set them back 5 yards.
Still first down.
Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. A big hit. Knocked down sideways. 4 yards there on the carry. Gets it back to 2nd and 11. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance. Reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
On 2nd down, Ryan. The left side completion to Jones. A very solid gain of 27. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. They'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
And that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Again, they'll run with Freeman. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run here with Freeman. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. And if you're the defense and those D tackles, you like that they're trying to run the football here against your 4-3, don't you?
Yeah, because they tend to eat things up because they are so strong and physical, and especially when they play with leverage where they get
under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Kendall Beckwith in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack, but he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield. But when push came to shove, they stood their ground. Now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And the 42-year-old veteran's kick is up and good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they get 3. They were hoping for 6. An unlucky number 13 play drive.
Well, you go to the sideline after putting 3 points on the board, happy, but you wanted to be ecstatic. You wanted to have 6 on the board. On the opposite sideline, though, the defense, I think they're high-fiving each other, only giving up 3 after letting them run that much offense.
Mike Evans and the rest of the offensive unit heading back out there now. Previous series, definitely a focal point. 3 catches, the touchdown grab. As a DB, your former DB, is there a number of catches on a drive you're like, oh, he got the best of us?
I'm not sure there's a number, but there's a great feel. And what he did on the last drive, yeah.
Especially with a touchdown.
Yes.
You're never happy.
You're exactly right. The way he capped it off, so you feel that at the sideline, and now you're looking at your buddies and saying, okay, what are we going to do to take things away?
Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. Jameis to throw it. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Now the 6-year man from Cal, Brian Anger, on to kick. Back deep, Taylor Gabriel. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Falcons offense making their way onto the field. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. As we take a look at the playoff picture, and certainly a lot of jostling still to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
Yeah, exciting for us because we get to talk about it, and, you know, at the end of the day, 6 teams are going to go from each conference, and guess what? We're going to have a playoff. But nerve-wracking for all the people involved, all the teams, because their goal is to get there. And anything less than that makes the season a disappointment. So they've got to be primed now for a big finish to their season.
2nd and 10 now. Ryan. Looking left sideline, incomplete. He was trying to hit Taylor Gabriel that time. And that'll make it 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
On 3rd down, Devontae Freeman across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And now the Bucs deciding to take a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. Jameis now on 1st down. He's going to loft this one deep left sideline. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
Throwing again, Winston on 2nd and 10. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down.
throw it long, it can be a big play. You throw it short, it could be a big play for Deshaun Jackson. Yards after catch, always a big part of his game.
Talking about speed, only Tyreek Hill was measured with a faster play last year than Deshaun Jackson, who hit 22.6 miles per hour on a touchdown versus the Cardinals in Week 13. Here's Winston. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down. Jameis again. And he fires one incomplete. He was trying to get it to Doug Martin, and it'll bring up third down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. 47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And here now come the Falcons. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
On second down, here's Ryan. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Jones. And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. The Falcons on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, it's Ryan. He goes underneath to Freeman. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Ryan. That's caught over the middle, Hooper. And he is hit pretty hard from the side as he's knocked down. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. They've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
And definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. As we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
They run it again with Martin. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we've hit halftime here in Tampa with the Bucs out in front. As we send you cross-state to Orlando to check in with Larry Ridley, he's got our EA Sports halftime report.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. Let's take a look back at the first half. Both the Buccaneers and the Falcons have very low rushing totals. It has not been an effective part of either team's game plan, and you wonder if either side will give a more concerted effort to run it in the second half. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Buccaneers now later on the drive. Winston looking in the direction of Mike Evans, and he finds him. And he capped off the 9-play drive with a TD. Buccaneers up by a touchdown. Now early in the second, Matt Ryan to his big play receiver, Julio Jones. And he'll be tackled at the 21-yard line. Falcons will stall out, though, and settle for a field goal. That'll do it from our EA Sports Studios in Orlando. For the second half, let's get cross-state to Tampa as we check back in with Brandon and Charles.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Well, that gives us a chance to take a step back and look at last week in the NFL. We had two teams clinch playoff spots officially, Charles. The Eagles and the Steelers are in.
How about that? We always talk about December being playoff time, right? The drive. And the Eagles and the Steelers both know that they're in the tournament, as the players like to call it. The Eagles as NFC East champions, although they did lose their quarterback, Carson Wentz, in the big win over the Rams.
On second down, Freeman. And that play goes nowhere. He's met behind the line, and a penalty flag may add insult to injury.
Offense.
So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
After the penalty, here's Freeman. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Throw left side complete. It's Jones. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a first down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. Play action. Ryan. And he finds a man with a crossing route. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. Now Ryan on second down. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They looked like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
First down. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested, and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Play action. It's Ryan. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Even in today's NFL, when we think of the tight end position now as really a glorified wide receiver, we're still asking a lot of those guys. They have to block as well, and every now and then, they don't come down with the football.
They go play action now. Ryan. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Well, pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And in his 15th season, he's able to get this one to go, and they'll get it back within a point at 7-6.
It's good to be the kicker for the top offense in the NFL, and Matt Bryant was that in 2016. Led the league in scoring with 158 points, but boy, does Atlanta find him valuable. So dependable and clutch.
And he's been valuable in this league for a while. Hard to believe he's been around since 2002. This one taken just inside the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. Here's Martin as they begin on the ground. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys cover.
It got his man complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. And that one results in 35 yards.
When Mike Evans sees man coverage, I don't think he's the only guy who gets excited. I'll guarantee the guy throwing the ball does, because guess what? He's got a lot of options about where to place it because of Mike Evans' size and frame.
And a 10th carry here for Martin. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. 10 yards still left on second down. To throw, Winston. Goes underneath to Martin. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and that'll bring up a third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
The Bucs on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Working out of the gun, Winston. He's got Evans. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. A familiar ring to that one. Winston to Evans for the Buccaneer first. And another Winston to Evans connection. Mike Evans, he didn't play football until his senior year of high school. He was such a good basketball player down in Galveston, Texas. But I think he's happy he picked football up.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. I would have loved to have been around those conversations. The head basketball coach, the head football coach. Since it was high school, maybe it was the same guy. You never know. And saying, I need this guy out on the field. But it's worked quite well for him. And Jameis Winston's so happy to have him on his squad.
And they've got the lead in this one because of those two. Back now in Tampa. This one's still anybody's ball game. It's a 1-point difference here as we begin the fourth quarter of play. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They'll run for it with Martin. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box.
And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Doug Martin, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. Solid job up front, really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run, end result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Here's Murray for the extra point. And it's up. It's good. Our score, 14-6. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it ends with a Doug Martin touchdown run. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at the 3. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Falcons offense making their way onto the field. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, The teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. Operating from the gun, Ryan connects with Sanu right side. And he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. To throw on 2nd down. Ryan throwing the out route incomplete. It's Jones. And they'll get him down here at the 23. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
While sometimes it doesn't appear like much, the out route can be very dangerous when you throw it to a guy like Julio Jones. If you try and undercut it, he can turn into a big play. But the reason he's able to get it so often is because of his ability to push people deep, and they have to respect that.
Under 4 to play now. Clock running. 3rd down. From the gun, Ryan. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Gerald McCoy. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs. They covered well. Allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Here's Matt Bosher now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. This is taken around the 12. Oh, good move. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Again, it's Martin. Oh, nice move. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
That was a good, nice, crisp run for a 1st down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They run with Martin. He's been busy tonight. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. 2nd and 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Winston gives to the tailback, Martin. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Winston with a give to Martin. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Give him 2 yards that time, and it's going to leave him with a 3rd and 11 situation. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late 4th quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on 3rd?
I don't. I run the football, and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line. So out come the Falcons now. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short of the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases. He's back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after a catch. Just got to be prepared, stay on your feet defensively, and tackle someone.
Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Buccaneers, the win gets them to 5-9 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they fall to 8-6 with the loss. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in New Orleans against the Saints. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Bucs are winners here as we say so long from Tampa.